Hello! If you're wondering why I'm wearing the same clothes as I was in my last video, that's because I've just filmed my last video. I am trying to film a few videos at once. This is my birthday haul. I got quite a few books, very exciting. Had to say none of them were surprises because I asked for them, but alas, books happened. Right, so let's get started on this beast of a pile. I got Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. This is a historical novel about Tudors, I believe. I've never really read a historical novel, but everybody was going on a few years ago about Bring Up the Bodies, her second in the series. And I bought Bring Up the Bodies because everyone was going on about it, not realising that there was Wolf Hall in the beginning. So this happened. It's quite thick though, and I have heard it's pretty much just a build-up to Bring Up the Bodies, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. Anyway, I think I'm looking forward to it, actually. I really am. Then I got The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. This is about, I think it's about a boy in his childhood, or a man in his childhood memories. It's a fantasy. I can't really gather what it's about, but everybody says it's really sweet. It's only short, and I haven't yet read a Neil Gaiman, even though I have Neverwhere, which is quite thick, so I might actually start with this one, because it does look quite easy to read. There's not too much writing to a page, so I think I can whiz through that. But yeah, I'm really excited. And I have Notes from Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have not yet read Crime and Punishment, which is a beast, and I don't know that I'll ever read it. This is really thin and sounds like it's pretty much about the same kind of stuff, so I figured. No, it sounds really interesting. Again, it's sort of political jibe, basically, same as Crime and Punishment, because Fyodor Dostoevsky also wrote Crime and Punishment, and I think it's pretty much about a man who goes underground and withdraws from society. So yeah, the title kind of says it all, really. Then I got John Steinbeck's East of Eden. I think this is pretty much just like a bit of a saga that follows this family through generations, which normally I don't like, but I've heard a lot of good things about this, so I thought I'd pick it up. Interestingly enough, I got the Penguin Classics, but it's a floppy. Well, it's not the floppiest floppy, but it's kind of floppy. They're normally quite stiff, but there we go. I haven't actually read any John Steinbeck since Of Mice and Men at School, which I don't even think I read in its entirety, because shamefully enough, for an English class, we watched it on telly. So, yeah, that'll be good. I think his writing, from what I can remember of what I read of Mice and Men, it's really nice writing, so yeah. Then I got The Collector by John Fowles. This is pretty much about, I can't remember, Stockholm Syndrome, is it? Is that what it's called? Where she gets kidnapped and she falls in love with her kidnapper, I believe. I might be completely wrong. So yeah, that sounds interesting. Again, mixed reviews. A lot of people have said they've been quite disappointed because it sounds really good, not so good in reality, but we shall see. I also got Mohsin Hamid's The Reluctant Fundamentalist. Ophelia Dagger raves about this book. I think it's like her favourite book, and so I picked it up for that reason. Again, I don't know what this is really about. I think it's about a Muslim or an Indian man, and he speaks really good English, and he's lived in the West, and it's basically his story about living in the West. So yeah, that's that. And I got The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. This, I have to say, from reading the back, it sounds a bit poor, but I thought it sounded intriguing when someone described it. Someone is doing Jack the Ripper-esque murders, and I think, yeah, obviously everyone goes a bit crazy, and it's about this girl who's gone to boarding school in London where these murders are happening. So yeah, I'm sure she has stuff to do with this. For some reason I thought it was like actually set when Jack the Ripper was about, but I don't think it is. It sounds like it's sort of a copycat murderer, so that was a bit of a disappointment to me, but I'm sure it'll still be an easy read and it'll be good. And I have The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald. This is basically about a woman who buys a bookshop. Sounds like she has to overcome some stuff. I feel like I shouldn't be filming this right now because I'm just not really describing but it's difficult. It's really quite, you know, books don't often say much on the back, so to give an overall review, I would have to read it, I think. But yeah, it sounds like she pretty much does just buy a bookshop and there's a bit of an opposition and stuff, and yeah, I'm sure there's morals in there as well. And I have Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. I have been told this is really, really sad. It's basically about a guy who, I think he pretty much gets picked up. He's got low IQ and he's a sweeper of floors and he's a bit not with it. And they basically make him a really, really intelligent man, this professor does. But I think the professor dies. That's not ruining it, it says it on the back. And the man then goes back to normal intelligence, or the low IQ he had before. So obviously that's going to be difficult if you've been intelligent and then lost it. So it'll be interesting. I think it's quite nicely written as well. It looks like it's sort of got some vernacular in it, because at the beginning, for example, it's him writing it with his low IQ and he puts progress report. So yeah, looking forward to that one. I also got Winger by Andrew Smith. Again, a bit late on this bandwagon. Really pretty book, as everybody else has said. This basically, again, doesn't sound like my cup of tea, but everyone's raving about it. It's about, I think it's a YA, about a guy who goes to boarding school, and it's just about boarding school life, really. So I am surprised that everyone seems to love it, but I'm going to give it a go, because there must be stuff in here that's good. It's quite, I mean, it looks like it's quite interactively written. It's not just plain, you know, it's got some funky stuff in there. I have to say, I was surprised by how little writing there is. It's really spaced out. Anyway, so yeah, give that one a go. And I have the Glass Bead Game by Herman Hesse. This is a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be tiny. I believe this is set in the future where they play the glass bead game. It's a coded game, and as a human of all human knowledge, is a fusion of all human knowledge. So I think it's just about this guy who becomes obsessed with playing this game and sort of sets his life goal on winning this game. I've read a few Herman Hesses. One I was really not impressed with, and I think one I was, so this will be interesting. I've kind of toyed with reading this for a few years now. Thought, why not bite the bullet, buy it. So yes. And I have The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbary. I've kind of been on and off about reading this book. Sometimes I think it sounds dull, sometimes I think it sounds good. I believe it's pretty much about the people in an apartment block in Paris and how their actions or something affects them all. I think it's sort of got a few storylines in there, so I'm going to give it a go. Everyone says it's really good. I think it's meant to have a really sad or happy end. That narrows it down. No, I know the end's meant to be quite good, whichever way it goes, so I'm looking forward to it. It's not too thick, so it shouldn't take me too long to get through. And I have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Out of all most of the books I got, I'm kind of most excited about this one. Sounds really funky. I think it's pretty much where people are living in a computer game or some such stuff. And everybody says it's just really great fun. So that'll be fun, obviously. Sorry that I haven't been with it today. I think I'm rushing, so I'm not really, yeah. Anyway, never mind. I'm sure you saw the books anyway, so never mind. Bye.